Alright, hello. Thank you for joining us for the weekly Masters Tournament. The first game we're going to be casting is Avillo, not Real Avillo, and Kyuz. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Should be starting in just a minute as we have both players in the lobby and ready to go. I'd like to thank the subs and followers that have joined us today, although maybe didn't get to see it as the pre-roll was running before this. Alright, sorry for the delay, just figuring out the map vetoes. And Avillo is Yenfu, not the real one. Although I'm sure a lot of you would love it if it was real Avillo. Yes, I am new. I just started casting a week ago. Let me know if the volume is okay. I think I sorted out the mic volume. One second. Alright, and it looks like our first map is going to be Acolyte. It's going to be a PvZ. Alright, and I'm just gonna make sure that both players are in game. Alright. And here we are on Acolyte. In the bottom left is our Psionic Aftermath player, Kiaz, which I think I'm pronouncing right.
You can do endless online research about the...
Sorry about that. A little bit of audio playing in the background. But in the top right player, our Protoss, it is Yenfu, even though that's not what it says. And looking at the builds here on this very defensive map, so Kia's gonna scout this probe, and looks like a nice 17 hatchery from Kia's. 1 gate and gas from Yenfu, and that's just a scouting probe. I expect he's gonna put down his expansion pretty soon. Oh, and 3 hatch before pool by Kiaz. This is pretty greedy. Probably would have been better for Yenfu if he was proxying. But it looks like he's not gonna have a whole lot of options to punish this, and Kiaz is gonna have a great economy. Now let's see what the tech choice out of Yenfu is. Probably gonna be a Twilight Council first. Could either be an Archon drop. Maybe he's going for Adepts on this map. Notably, this map has almost no dead space, so if he's gonna go for drops, it's very difficult. Alright, and Kia's speed on the way. 4 lings, queens, pretty standard. Stargate coming out of Yenfu, and it's probably gonna be an Oracle. So far there are no spores, but it seems very likely that he will add them on. And he's getting 12 lings. He might be afraid of some aggression coming out of Yenfu, as he did go for an extremely greedy build, 3 hatch before pool. This Adept is gonna come out here, see all these lings. Actually 10 more on the way. Oh no, he goes back to drones. So I think this is probably just gonna be a little bit of pressure. A full wall coming out of Yenfu. He does seem a little bit scared of this, and rightly so. That is 26 lings, and all he has is a single Adept. Mothership core, it's now popping. Fortunately, there's no Baneling nest behind this. Yeah, and he will be forced to back off by that full wall and the threat of overcharge. A Void Ray coming in. He may be He may be thinking that there were drops on the way, or he may be scared of roaches, but Kios has just returned back to droning. He's getting a spore in all his bases just in time for this oracle to arrive. And he's not going to want to lose that. He's going to want to keep it into the late game. Get some nice tags, scouting, maybe pick off a few workers. This Void Ray, it's going to deny an Overlord scout, which is nice. And he's going to start taking down this full wall, as he's probably going to want to take his third base pretty soon. And there was the probe heading down to do it. Although this nice pack of lings probably won't be able to cancel, but could pick off some adepts. Nice stasis trap though. That'll secure him. And the fleet beacon. That's very fast. So that's probably going to be carriers. And the double Stargate. No air upgrades on the way yet. But the Void Ray denied scouting. So, I mean, he's teching into roaches. He is getting the lair. So, Hydralisks may be on the way. But an extra spore is coming down. But I don't think he sniffed this out. The carrier's already starting production. And Kiaz is gonna have to react to this. Because if Yenfu can get up a nice critical mass, then he might just be unstoppable. Like he's gonna need a lot of Hydralisks or Corruptors or some tech to deal with this. And there's the mothership on the way. I will cloak the units, and also if Kiaz sends in some lings, he will be able to scout carriers just by seeing that mothership. Hydralisks on the way. A good choice, but he's going to need a lot of them to deal with these. Still no air upgrades, funnily enough. It's a pretty heavy committal to carriers, and due to the way that interceptors work, attack upgrades are extremely valuable. Just gonna check the cam, make sure. Yeah, he's seen no indication, but he may send in some lings now, and he does see the mothership, so if he was looking, then he's gonna know what's coming. Hydralisk speed on the way, and double upgrades coming out for Kiaz. The worker count 72 to 66. Both players at a pretty healthy economy right now. It's gonna come down to a pretty big engagement. Glaives, +1 air weapons, and a third Stargate on the way. So he's looking to go for adepts underneath these carriers. Now if Kiaz only goes for Hydralisks and cuts all the other units like Banelings or Roaches, those adepts can be extremely useful. Infestation Pit on the way. He might want to get Hive and some Vipers for Abducts, or he may just want to go for his +3 upgrades. Fourth base is scouted. I think it's going to be important for Kiaz to make sure this doesn't get up. 2 more Stargates on the way, so that's going to be 5 Stargate production. And it doesn't look like Kiaz is going for it quite yet. He's getting another hatchery. He has Roach speed on the way, just about finished. Does he already have Hydra speed? Yes, he does. 14 Hydralisks on the way, Baneling speed, so he's probably gonna get a good amount of Banelings to deal with. All of these Adepts underneath. There are 15. It's a pretty sizable number. +2 on the way. Right now, both of these players, they're just gearing up for a difficult late game. I feel like this 4th base going down, it's a big win for Yenfu. He's going to transfer probes down there, and if he can hold that, he should have the economy to keep up this 5 Stargate production. But Kia's is maxed, and it looks like with his +2 Carapace upgrades finishing, he's going to want to go across the map. A couple of Adepts moving out, probably just a scout if there's a 5th base. Throughout this game, he has scouted the 5th base. His Oracle, actually, has been doing a great job of keeping tabs on the Zerg. It's 10 Banelings on the way. It'll be important if he's going to attack that he attacks before this +2 finishes. Interceptors, they get so much benefit from the attack upgrades. I think this is gonna be it. He's moving out across the map. If either of these players loses too much of their army, it will be very difficult to get it back. Stargate units take a long time to produce. It is 55 Hydras versus 6 Carriers and 8 Void Rays. And this is just a huge fight. Look at the Interceptor count, only 16. But a lot of the Adepts have stayed alive. There are 7 left, and it looks like, that stasis trap was very important. Making sure that all of the Hydras weren't fighting at once. Yenfu is just in such a good position now. He lost very little. He's almost maxed. He's getting Storm underneath this. Does he actually have Storm? He does not yet, but he is researching it. Three attack, +3 attack for the air, and 3 for the swarm is coming up. Looks like maybe he's trying to distract with these lings, get the army out of position, and then hit with not too many Hydras, but it might be enough. Yeah, the entire army moved out of position for just a handful of lings, and this could be a lot of damage to the economy. But these Glaive Adepts, they'll be able to, with the help of the cannons, fend off these Hydras for a little bit. But he has to evacuate the mineral line. And just now, the Sky Toss fleet is he recalls. Yeah, that's gonna clean it up. Has he scouted the no, he has not scouted the extra base yet. He might be willing to send one of these changelings up to see if there's anything there. 19 corruptors on the way. If he focus fires the carriers, well, that'll be a lot of damage added into the fight. Oh, he's also, does he have Null? He does. So it looks like he's gonna try to mind control the carriers and kill the rest of them with an overwhelming amount of corruptors. That's 27. And the fleet is moving into this gold base. Takes it out immediately. And this is gonna be the big engagement. Right here. Oh, huge storms on the Corruptors. And the Void Rays just melt them down. A few feedbacks on the Infestors, and oh, that's a huge blow. I don't know if Kios could come back from this. 10 swarm hosts. They don't shoot up. So he's gonna be able to harass the economy, but I don't think Yenfu is gonna have to stay in this game much longer. Yeah, if we do the classic and look at the supply, I mean, Yenfu is doubling it. Really, there are no units left to deal with this massive Sky Toss army. And I think we're gonna see Kia's tap out in just a second as the carriers kill the last remaining unit. And GG, well played. Congratulations to Yenfu, he will be moving on. Alright, so we're going to be getting into our next match as soon as possible. Just gonna take a look at the bracket. I'm sorry, that's actually a best of 3. So we're going to be staying in for the rest of it. If they would like. Let's see if we can get invited into that next game. See it unfold. Sorry for the delay. Probably selecting maps. Sorry, my keyboard is probably pretty loud. It's fairly close to my mic. That last game, that was a long game, probably what we should expect out of Acolyte. It is very difficult to attack, so that Sky Toss style is very powerful. we're gonna see if Kiaz is... we might actually have a walkover. It doesn't look like the Psyx player Kiaz is here. Maybe he didn't realize that these are best of 3 matches. Thought it was just a best of 1. We're gonna wait a couple minutes, see if he shows up, but not responding right now. Oh, he is back. There we go. Alright, so we'll be getting into our next map, folks. So apparently my in-game sound is too quiet. Yeah, it is only at 10%. So I'll boost that up to a 35 about. Tell me if you guys still hear that music off. Alright, next map is going to be Ascension to Ire. Ascension to Iowa, also another fairly large map. Alright. And we have our game loading in. Alright, in the bottom right corner, the red player spawning as Protoss, it is Yenfu. And in the top left, as pink from Psyx Gaming, it is Kiaz. And sorry, I forgot to switch my overlay. There we go. Alright, so coming out of Yenfu, looks like pretty much the same opener as last game. It's gonna be a gate expand, and Kiaz is trying to take his hatch, but it will get blocked. That's nice. Just a little economic delay with the pylon coming down as well. See if Kiaz chooses to take a different base as a natural. so far it looks like he just made more drones. Oh yeah, he cancelled the pylon, allowing the base to go down. And is Kia's gonna try for another 3 hatch before pool? He is. And even though Yanfu saw this last game, he goes for the same opening. He's not trying to punish this very economically focused build. This map, it's a lot easier to attack a third base. Like this base, for example, it's very open. There's not like a ramp or a choke point to defend it like on Acolyte. So a Sky Toss style, it can still work, but it'll be a lot harder for him to expand and stay safe during that crucial time when he only has about 2 or 3 carriers. But he's going Stargate first again. So both of these builds identical to what we saw last game. And with that fast scouting adept, this is just gonna come down here, check the drone count. He already saw the third base, right? Yep, he already saw the third base. So he's just gonna poke around, see what's happening. Just like last game, Kia's is going for some initial lings to stay safe against any attack, given his very fast 3 hatcheries. And Yanfu is not gonna get anything. He also did not get out, so he did lose the adept. Not a huge deal, but that means his defense against this little ling pressure is gonna be a little bit lighter. Does have the mothership core out though, just in time. He's adding a second pylon for overcharge. And the 3 spores coming down to deal with this oracle, but it will be used defensively, as he only has 1 adept, and the mothership core defend this off. Now he's going for a void ray again. I think he's gonna want to deny scouting of Kia's with these overlords, like right in the main, and this one scouting for a third base. And this oracle probably won't get any damage done. Maybe a drone or 2, but most likely it'll just be scouting around, tagging the bases, as the spores and queens will be able to shoo it away. And he might be able to get the cancel here. He will. He doesn't get the probe though, so we will be able to lay it right back down. But it's a little delay. It helps out a bit. And here we see the double Stargate and Fleet Beacon coming down. A much faster Hydralisk Den. No Roach Warren at all. So I think he's adapting his build a little bit better this time. I don't think he's gonna want to get to that super late game that happened on Acolyte. He's going to scout the layer. He's gonna lose that. That's unfortunate. But he did see the Hydralisk Den. I'm assuming he clicked on it, or at least has an idea of what it is. No upgrades on the way for Yanfu, but 13 Hydras. I have a suspicion that Kia's might be just going all in. He might be once this Hydra speed and +1 finishes, making nothing but Hydralisks, going across the map, trying to stop Yenfu before he gets to that critical mass of carriers with his Mothership Core, Storm, all the things that a late game Skytoss army needs to beat a lot of Hydralisks. Looking at the upgrades, nothing from Yenfu, so we will not have glaives for these adepts when and if these Hydras come. But if we look at the units tab right now, it is 21 Hydralisks versus a Void Ray and 10 adepts with the Mothership Core and 2 carriers in production. But he's going for the third base right now with Hydralisk speed and +1 against the no upgrades of Yenfu. Let's see if he can make this timing work. This is the advantage he had of having a pretty good idea of what Yenfu was going for even before the game started. Graviton Catapult and 1 carrier, but 8 interceptors will not do a lot of damage. Okay, the overcharge coming down. He's trying to target down the mothership so that he can kill these units. Right. The units tabs, we have 19 Hydralisks versus 2 carriers and 15 adepts. But without glaives, those adepts are a lot worse. And it looks like Yenfu might hold. He is ahead in economy. There's no 4th base for Kiaz, so he needs to make this push happen. Otherwise, he's just gonna be behind, and the carrier count, it's gonna snowball. Alright, he's going for it. Glaives not completed. It is on the way. +1 air weapons not done. But he's gonna be forced to retreat here, and Yenfu might try to push out. I don't know about this. I think he won that fight due to his defensive positioning, his overcharges, just the fact that his units get to the fight faster. But now he's gonna try to just make this work. The Baneling Nest on the way to deal with those adepts. +2 melee, pretty close to finishing. A lot of interceptors dying here. But Glaives has been finished, so these adepts will fight much better with the Hydralisks. And now Kiaz gets to push back. He's gonna focus fire down these carriers, these expensive, time consuming units. The build time on a carrier is ridiculous. I don't know the actual time, but it's very long. And he's sticking around on creep. It looks like he is gonna go back though. He is up to 13 adepts, and there are a lot of lings. Baneling speed is not on the way, but I think that's going to be a crucial part of this defense because of the strong ground force of Yenfu. And the 4th base just now going down, while it's already completed for a Protoss player. Alright, Storm is on the way as well as +2 air attack. He's making Void Rays, possibly expecting a switch into Corruptors like last game. Void Rays, of course, doing a ton of damage to Corruptors as they are armored units. another Stargate on the way, and Immortals actually. He's playing sort of a hybrid style. He has obviously a very big investment in the sky, but he also has a reasonable ground army to back it up as well. But here we go, Kios is attacking again. Storm is not yet done, and he's gonna gun down quite a few probes. He could even kill this. Yes, he is killing the 4th base, but ooh, he's gonna lose a lot in the retreat as well. That probably wasn't worth it for Kiaz, considering he only really evened up the worker supply. It's still very close. Looking at the unit tabs, it's 10 banelings, unfortunately without speed. 26 hydralisks against 4 carriers, 13 adepts, 4 high templar, and 5 void rays. So in a straight up fight, given that he has Storm and this +2 about to finish, I would definitely favor Yenfu. And Baneling speed is not on the way. That will make it very hard to get those Banelings into the front to connect with the Adepts, which is really what they're here for. Some Spore Crawlers, probably for vision and maybe just a little bit extra DPS. A little harassment counterattack coming out from Yenfu. And +3 air weapons is on the way for the Protoss player, while 2-2 is coming up to finishing for the Zerg. The workers still very low for Kiaz though, and 7 more drones dying to this counterattack over here. He is shading now into the natural, and I think Kiaz wants to push in, but he just doesn't have the army for it. Very good storms, and with the DPS of the adepts as well as the carriers, Kia's in a lot of trouble. These adepts are still in the natural. There's been no response to them. So, I mean, this is it. Kiaz has to go all in, and he knows he can't make it work. It's GG. And that will be the end of the series, with Yenfu taking a 2-0 over Kiaz. Alright, so we're going to be looking for our next series. I'm going to get the link to the bracket in chat. Oh, is my in-game sound still too quiet? Alright, I will boost that up even more. Let's try 70%. Alright, so we're gonna have a TVT next. It is going to be Mr. L, the host of this tournament, versus Zox, I think. And I'm just gonna fix the game capture here. Alright, so the first map is going to be Odyssey. And we should be jumping into that in just a minute. Let me know in chat if there are any further audio issues. We might have to switch servers here. Nope, looks like we are good to go for this TVT on Odyssey. Alright, and here in the bottom right corner in green it is Psyx Mr. L, and up in the top left it is our orange Terran from QTP2P clan, Zox. I'm sure that there's something else to that clan. Mr. L, either going for a very fast scout or maybe a proxy, but it is queued into the main. So, looks like he will be going for a scout. Both of these players opting for the gas first, very standard in TVT. So, those two SCVs high-fiving on the way, and Mr. L is going to scout the double gas. He is still on one gas though. Maybe he's opting for a faster expansion where Zox may be going for a more Okay, does that fix it? Am I back? Okay, is this back? Alright, chat, can you tell me if you hear me? Chat, can you hear me? I'm gonna keep talking to make sure that they, no, Mike is back. Alright, great. Okay. Alright, so the next game is gonna be on Abyssal Reef. Sorry for the mute cast last time. And we should be starting the game right about now. Alright, so that last game, it came down to a fantastic base trade. Very, very pleased with that TVT. It was pretty much, it was decided so quickly. And here we are in the top left, spawning in green from Psionic Aftermath. It is Mr. L. And in the bottom right, spawning in orange from that clan, it is Zox. Alright. So, a guess first out of either player. Same as the last game. I expect that we'll see pretty similar builds, because the build isn't what determined last game at all. It was almost mirrored, but it really came down to the positioning, as it does with these marine tank battles. So once again, Mr. L going for the slightly faster scout, and he will see the double gas once again. Or, I mean, I'm sure he will eventually. Right now he's just doing a little bit of harass. Yeah, we'll see the double gas. And Zox will come out and see the lack of a second gas from Mr. L. Same as last game. I think Mr. L is going to go for a slightly faster expand and try to defend his natural. And that looks to be the case. Mr. L with a solid emoji choice. And he might actually lose that SCV. It'll at least delay the command center a bit. Yeah, it's very unfortunate. It's gonna have to wait for a new SCV and the Reaper to secure that expansion. And it looks like we're gonna have double Reaper and I'm guessing a Cyclone out of this factory. I think Mr. L is probably going to put a bunker on the high ground, like last game, and make sure that the Cyclone cannot deal damage to his workers. Alright, Reaper versus Reaper. Mr. L eats a grenade, and looks like he will lose his first Reaper. It's not the biggest of deals because he has a second one coming out, and he will take down the opposing Reaper. But that is one less unit to defend this Cyclone coming across the map. A Hellion on the way for Mr. L. And I think Zox, yeah, Zox wins that fight again. And he will continue to delay this command center, actually buying himself enough time for the Cyclone to get across the map. He will lose the Reaper, but he has much bigger firepower here. And I don't think he'll be able to get the cancel. But he's gonna delay it a lot. Do a good amount of damage. The defensive Cyclone from Mr. L is on the way. Now this is a 3-kill Cyclone, but he's gonna have to back off when this he might. Oh no, the second Cyclone comes in, and Cyclones have such DPS. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, he's gonna have to cancel that. That's a big deal. Now Zox will have his expansion faster. Mr. L forced to. Oh. That's an interesting choice. He's gonna double expand in the main, hoping to catch up. But the Raven is probably gonna spot this. It is headed across the map. Mr. L has a Cyclone to fend it off. Maybe he can deny the scout of the double expand. But tank production is on the way for Zox, and it has not yet started for Mr. L. He is still on Cyclones. So the Raven sees that there's no natural going down. He may think that he has not started a natural, but he should confirm that at least one of them is done. His command center will finish first though, and he will get the full scout of both of them. This is very nice for Zox. And he will not lose this. These Cyclones being repaired. Overall, the income is very heavily in favor of Zox, as he does have his natural expansion already mining, and Mr. L is still on one base. Still no tanks from Mr. L, even though he does have the tech lab. Oh, and he starts up tanks. A drop heading out, but the Cyclone, the Viking rather, is getting back into position to defend that. It is a 2 Cyclone drop, and it looks like Zox is getting in position to take a third. He may want to push out with this army, see if he can get any pressure done, as he should know that Mr. L won't have a ton of units, as he did get those 2 command centers up very quickly. Oh, and this, if you can siege up like right here, you can deny a bit of mining on the mineral line, or like right here. The drop, killing 7 workers, forcing him slightly out of position, which allows the drop on top of the siege tank, Zox is taking control of this game very quickly, and if he can siege up on this ramp, and Mr. L losing 20 workers now, and with these siege tanks in position, he will clean it up, but he's down 20 workers now. That was a fantastic move from Zox, distracting in the main with the Cyclones, and then taking out the tank. And if we look at the follow-up, he's making more tanks. He has 3 barracks against the 2 barracks of Mr. L, and as I mentioned before, he's so ahead on workers. He's also ahead on bases. Even though he built this command center, he has not yet started mining the 3rd, whereas Zox has. But that triple command center will allow Mr. L to climb back in workers pretty quickly. Stim pack on the way. And combat shields and +1 on the way for Zox. +1 armor not yet started. He's a little bit low on gas. And he's pushing out again. He has 2 tanks in position. But if he sieges up here, that'll deny the 3rd. He could also try to drop into the main. Combat shields, by the way, a huge upgrade versus siege tanks. If you stim without combat shields, the Marines will get one-shot by the tanks. Oh, and a big drop into the main. The Vikings not quite in position. He will siege up, and Mr. L is going to lose even more workers. Combat shields is not finished. And he will clean it up again, but losing 16 more SCVs in the process. He is now down 22 workers. And sure, Zox has certainly cut some SCVs in order to be able to afford all this aggression, which is why he is not ahead by more. But the 4th base is on the way, and I'd certainly say this has paid off. +1 armor now finishing up, and the armory on the way. And Zox, oh, he's not moving out again. That would, I mean, he could just keep laying on the pressure. He's up in supply, and I think he would definitely like it if he could deny this 3rd. That would be a very powerful move, considering his 4th. It's about halfway done. And he's just sending out Marines for a little bit of scouting. With this center tower, he should know that the 3rd base has been taken, as well as his Marine dying over there. And it looks like he may choose to try to pressure that 3rd. He can take down the rocks here, and then siege up in this position, as opposed to having to walk up that ramp. But it looks like he will try to push up, though. Or he may just go for the natural. He's moving his tanks into position. He's sieging up at the bottom of that ramp. And Mr. L was set up to defend the third. He does not have units in position for the natural. Maybe he's gonna try to swing around to the third now. Mr. L with so few units is in a tough position trying to defend both bases. He will take down this rock. These rocks makes it much easier to push up, but it is still a ramp and a choke point. And so far Mr. L is holding, but with +2/+2 on the way and +1 weapons, mech weapon, he's gonna have an upgrade lead and an army lead. Oh, unfortunately, sieging up in range of the siege tanks. He's gonna lose pretty much all his tanks though. He's now just down 2 Marines. Mr. L, he's pulling the boys once again. Will lose 5. But he gets on Zox. He taking a very unfortunate engagement for him. TVT is one of those matchups where just a very small positional mistake like he made really snowballed into him losing pretty much the entire army. He's still ahead in workers. Mr. L has now taken the army lead. And I think that was definitely a fight that Mr. L needed. He was certainly behind before, but now he finds himself ahead even. 3-3 on the way for both players. +1 mech weapons for Mr. L, and +2 for the Zox. Planetary Fortress on the way as his 5th base. Where Mr. L, he is still on 4 bases. His 5th base has been built, but he has not yet flown it down to the 5th base location. And Zox will take out a tank and try to swing around, maybe put some more pressure on the natural. Though I don't feel like Zox has to be the one attacking. He is ahead in bases and workers, and last time he did it, he lost his advantage. He has regained it just due to his superior economy. And he will take the 5th base here. So altogether, things are evening up in this TVT. Oh, and he's trying to fight up that ramp against siege tanks, and the flank from behind. And Zox will lose quite a few tanks though. If we look at the tank count for either player, it is the 11 of Mr. L to the 4 of Zox. Now Zox definitely has the Marine lead, 43 to only 16. But Mr. L going for the more tank heavy style. He could chew through those Marines very quickly. Oh, he's now sieging up on the high ground. And Zox will just have enough, getting a nice Marine flank. We'll be able to clean up those tanks and even it up. Now 7 tanks for Zox to 5 for Mr. L. This has been one of the most back and forth TVTs I've seen in a long time. And now Mr. L is going to have to fight to defend this planetary fortress. Zox slightly ahead in upgrades, as he has +2 mech weapons against the +1 of Mr. L. And +3 is started. So this is big. These SCVs can't mine. And since the planetary fortress cannot lift up, it looks like it will die. And there it is, the very important 5th base out of Mr. L being taken down. He is now only at 33 army supply against the 106 or 10 of Zox. And I think he's going to be able to take these tanks and slowly siege into the 3rd base of Mr. L. If we are to look at the income, I mean, Zox more than doubling, almost tripling. And there we go. GG, well played. It is now tied up. Thank you, Vajzilla. It is now tied up 1-1 in this series. So now we should be able to go straight into our 3rd game, the decider. And it will be on Acolyte. We've seen Acolyte once before tonight, and that turned into a very long late game. So we're gonna see how it works in TVT. Certainly a defensive map. You have a ledge from your main overlooking your 3rd. So it should be relatively doable with tanks to secure the 3rd base. Also, a nice choke point. And now, the final game of this best of 3 series. In the top right, spawning in green from Psionic Aftermath, it is Mr. L. And in the bottom right, in the orange, it is Zox. Alright, the fast scout coming out from Mr. L. Will Zox choose to go for the double gas again on this map? The rush distance, as you can see, is so long that that more aggressive opener, it would struggle to do any damage even against the more economic focus of Mr. L's opener, at least so far this series. And it looks like both players will go for the 1 barracks expand. You have this nice tucked in natural. It is able to be dropped pretty well, but against a frontal push it's very hard to attack. The same goes for the main actually. A lot of drop space, but a nice ramp at the front to prevent from like a marine push. Looks like the command center should be coming down at about the same time for both of these players. Alright, so pretty much entirely mirror builds out of these players. Previously this series we've had Zox trying to be more aggressive in the early game, but it looks like he is going for the more economic focus on this, as previously mentioned, ridiculously large map. But here we start to see our first divergence in builds. Zox is going 2 barracks, whereas Mr. L is going 1. Now that last game, we certainly saw Mr. L go for more tanks than bio, and Zox certainly have a more marine focus. But this is sort of strange coming out from Mr. L. He might be going for a marine mine drop, which is not very common in TVT. That's more of a TVZ thing. Fast stem on the way. This is looking like a sort of a modified 2-1-1. He's getting a very fast stem, and he will get those siege tanks out as well. Whereas he's going for a cyclone first. Mr. L maybe a little bit more scared of some early push, but scanning, he should get full vision of this, and he should start up tank production pretty soon. This Reaper getting a nice full scout of the base, whereas Mr. L had to scan. Going for a Liberator as well. Yeah, it looks like Mr. L looking to put on some pressure. It looks like he's set right to go for this natural. A lot of airspace to drop from, and so far at least, all the defense is in the front. But a counter drop out from Zox. It will hit significantly later. He might even have to turn around to defend. And a scouting SCV going to the watchtower. It will not see this drop. A good shift Q from Zox. Oh, and a nice Widow Mine hit, doing a little bit of friendly fire. But that should be Mr. L getting 6 SCVs and taking no losses from the drop. But the counter drop out of Zox is also undefended. And Mr. L is forced to pick up, where Zox has stem. But hopefully this tank and cyclone will be able to force this back. It ended up pretty even. But going in for the drop again is Mr. L. Unfortunately, it does not have stim yet. In fact, it's only just started. So Zox will be able to stim and defend those drops more effectively than Mr. L. If we look at the SCVs lost, it is 6-6. Very even. But the faster third command center here for Mr. L, his is about 3/4 of the way done, whereas Zox only just started his. Going up to more gas is Mr. L and getting actually more barracks. A little bit more of light harass from Mr. L. And this drop, sitting outside the 4th base location, may go in and kill a few of these SCVs mining from the soon-to-be 3rd. And Zox with the stim will be able to pick up 4 kills and lose only a few Marines. Pretty good trade. And another small drop trying to kill this tank will not be successful. Good repair from Mr. L. Combat shields on the way for Mr. L. And actually not by Zox. He forgot combat shields. He should be starting them up pretty soon. He's had stim done for a long time. And the third base now being taken. Looks like this is going to a pretty decently long game. It's both players able to safely get up their third. Pretty minimal losses of SCVs, even on both sides. Mr. L going for another drop. A tank is in the natural to defend. And this scouting, it will see this small 5 Marine move out. Sort of odd from Mr. L. Just really making sure he holds down that watchtower. Turret on the way, but it will not finish, as Mr. L will be able to drop right on top of that tank. The friendly fire doing a ton of damage to the SCVs. And that is 9, 11, 13... Looks like it's gonna be 15 kills. The tank doing a lot of the work there. 1-1 will finish much faster for Zox, but he is now down about 20 workers, which is reflected in the income. And Mr. L with a slightly higher tank count, but pretty equal on Marines, so maybe he's gonna try to move out. Zox at 8 medevacs, that's why his army supply looks so much bigger. Now going up to 10 medevacs. Mr. L only at 3, so if he stims too heavily, he won't have the power to heal them back up. Important 1-1 is done for Zox and is just finishing up for Mr. L. By the time any fighting happens, it should be done. And both of these players sort of just positioning out on the map. Actually, is this gonna be a base trade? Oh, Zox, he's going. And both of these players moving across the map. This is reminiscent of Game 1, where they sort of met in the middle and then decided to both go for it. And it looks like it's going to be a massive drop into the main. This center tower should see it, but if he goes far enough, yeah, this will take out those tanks. And this being on top of the production, the third base being taken down by Mr. L on the other side, but the production is already right on top of it by Zox. And looking at the army supply, Zox may have the better side of it. There is a little defensive choke here for Zox, which will be hard for Mr. L to push into, given that he has 2 tanks defending it, where Zox is already in the main base. All the production for Mr. L is gone. His army supply has fallen behind. He's going home. But there's nothing to go back to. It's all his production is dead. A majority of his SCVs have gone. In fact, all but 12, which will be cleaned up after this command center dies. And I think that's the game. 0 workers from Mr. L. Just dropping a few mules now to get a tiny amount of income, but I think that's it. Zox, he held on 2 bases. GG, well played. Alright, we should get our next match underway, which I believe are the semi-finals. Alright, so the next match is coming up. It is going to be Mr. 789, also known as Swagger, and Yenfu, also known as Avillo. Alright, I will be right back. We're just should be a couple minutes, and then we're gonna start our semi-finals match. Alright. So our first map is going to be Ascension to Aya. Alright, so it is going to be a PvP with Yenfu versus Mr. 789. So in the top left corner of Ascension to Aya, spawning as the blue Protoss, it is Yenfu. With those sick looking probes. And spawning in the bottom right as the purple Protoss, it is Swagger or Mr. 789 from the Cyrus clan. Alright, so both players opening one gate, no crazy Nexus first, fast second gas out of Swagger and Yenfu. Yenfu scouting for any proxy pylons, maybe a cannon rush, which can be quite popular in PvP. Second gate going down for both players. So this looks like it's going to be a standard 2-gate from both players. See how they diversify it past there. So out of a 2-gate opener, players can either go for Adepts or Stalkers. Stalkers is definitely more common, but Adepts kill workers so quickly. 2 Adepts, 1 shot a worker. So, shading them into the mineral line, pretty quickly you can kill off 2, 3 photon overcharge from Mothership Core. It's very important to kill them quickly, as Stalkers do very little damage, and as I say that, Yenfu choosing the 2 Adept opener. This may also be a sign that he's going for Stargate, and there it goes. Because Adepts are far less gas than Stalkers, it makes it easier to afford a Stargate. I'll see how many probes you can get with this. It's pretty standard to get 1 or 2, which isn't the best value. That's why it's not a super common opener. And it looks like Mr. 789 going for the 4 Stalkers before expand. And also hiding a probe over here. It could proxy, or it could just send it into Scout and Natural a bit later. And a expansion coming down for Mr. 789. Looks like the same will happen for Yenfu. Yenfu, during his entire time in the tournament, has seemed to favor Stargate. He of course went Sky Toss against Kiaz, and is now going Oracle first, most likely into Phoenix against Mr. 789. These 2 Adepts getting caught by the Stalkers. At least one will go down. The second one will be able to shade away. But what really matters now is how much damage this Oracle can get done. The Mothership Core is in position with 2 overcharges. With this nice triangle of pylons, I shouldn't be able to get much damage at all. Probably keep it later for scouting. Gets 1 probe and 2. That's It's pretty good considering he did not lose it. He's now going into Void Ray production. Void Ray Immortal, definitely looking to shut down the Stalkers. Let's see if this is a blink first. It is, so suddenly the Stalkers will have a tough time against both Immortals and Void Rays. No robotics facility on the way for Mr. 789. Instead, he's getting a very fast +1. And he's going up to 3 gateways. So, oh, I like this music. It's nice and funky. So now Yenfu, he's Mr. 789 is gonna get the scout of the Void Ray and Immortal army. It's gonna be tough for Mr. 789 to put on pressure. They're both very slow units, the Immortal and the Void Ray, but they do a ton of damage. We'll see when or if Yenfu throws down a fleet beacon, as carriers are relatively common in PvP. Third base coming down, much faster for Mr. 789 than Yenfu. He's going to take his third right now. A nice little lead for Mr. 789. And a robotics bay now coming down. He's going to try to fend off that Immortal count with his own. And these nice hallucinated phoenixes coming in, keeping tabs. This is a very similar function to keeping the Oracle alive and getting tags off. +1 is now finishing for Mr. 789, and interestingly enough, he's going for most likely disruptors. I think Colossus is very unlikely in PvP. Mr. 789 also going for the same tech. So it makes me wonder if Yenfu is going to switch up into Phoenixes, because Phoenixes can lift up the disruptors and cancel the shots. They're very useful against them. And a nice scouting adept. We'll see the third Mr. 789. We'll probably shade into the natural, see what's going on there. Maybe gets one probe? No, not quite. And cannons going down. They're good against DTs and small amounts of adepts that sort of run by. So right now it's looking pretty even. A bit of an odd choice. He's now getting double Stargate. I wonder if he's gonna stick on Void Rays. He's getting +1 attack. So it's gonna be Disruptor, Immortal, Void Ray. A lot of technical units in Yenfu's army compared to the more meaty army of Stalkers. Blink Stalker Disruptor is certainly a more common composition at higher levels. Nice map control out of Yenfu. Just these pylons scattered around, patrolling Void Rays, a few adepts in the corner. Any move out that Mr. 789 tries to do will be scouted at least, a few seconds ahead of time, which is a nice little advantage. More gateways coming down, quite a few actually, 4, and a Templar Archives for Mr. 789. Looks like he is going into Charge Lot Archon, a nice gas and mineral balanced composition, whereas Yenfu is dropping down the Fleet Beacon. Overall, a very pacifist game out of both of these players. Very few probe kills. Archons, of course, do not take bonus damage from the Void Rays charging up, but they are very slow, and so Disruptors are pretty good at gunning them down, as they are also large, fairly easy to hit. Looks like maybe Mr. 789 might go for a little bit of a Disruptor drop, or may just have a reinforcing Warp Prism that'll stay with his army, and as he's pushing out, he can warp in more Stalkers, Charge Lots, Archons to help with the fight. Now, Yanfu will get a hint of this from the pylon being killed. He is already in position by his third. Carrier production has started. He's going up to triple Stargate, but he will not have them in time for this attack. It's gonna come down to Disruptor Micro here, as they do so much damage. Good hit, weakening that Immortal, killing one Adept. Could have been much worse. +3 attack, starting for Mr. 789. Tries to trigger the Stasis Trap, and does. Now, oh my god. That is a massive hit from the Disruptors. It's now going to come down to these Void Rays. They're charged up and they're eating through the Stalkers. So, fantastic Disruptors there for Mr. 789. But he couldn't deal with the Void Rays in the sky. And so... oh, this is interesting. Mr. 789, he could go for Tempest. He might go for his own carriers, but I don't think he would win a carrier versus carrier war. +2 is already on the way. He's already started his production. He has triple Stargate, chrono boosting out carriers, whereas he's going up to 4 Stargates. He could go for Tempest though, which, if you keep your distance, target fire, they do a lot of damage to carriers as they are massive units. Probably a Charge Lot. Oh, thank you for the follow. Probably a Charge Lot drop into the main, or maybe a run by. Oh, a nice, well, soon to be. Nope, never mind. Thought he was gonna run by, but so many cannons to show it up. And there is the mothership from Yanfu. He's going up to 4 Stargates. And yep, a Charge Lot whooping into the main. A lot of cannons to shut this down though. And if he A-moves like he just did, he will only attack the cannons and not kill any workers. Zealot staying alive. A whooping at the same time. But oh, thank you for the follow, Zox, the winner of the previous match. Well played. So, these cannons actually do a ton against Charge Lot run-bys, because if you just A-move, they'll attack the cannons instead of the workers. Less so with Adepts. This Zealot, having its revenge on that pylon, will be taken out by a Void Ray. So, Mr. 789 is trying to out-carrier Yanfu at this point. +3 is already on the way for Yanfu, as +2 just started for Mr. 789. If we look at the units count, it's currently 6 carriers to 4, and the Archon, actually the Archons, they kill interceptors very quickly. So if he gets a nice Archon base underneath his carriers. That could turn the tide. Going up to now 5 Stargates is Yenfu, really committing to this ultimate late game composition of carrier versus carrier. Now he is getting his Twilight Council, another gateway. He's probably gonna warp in Archons, just because of their utility against carriers. But it's also worth noting that +3 attack is finished for Mr. 789, where no ground upgrades except for shields have been researched for Yenfu. And now Mr. 789 is starting Tempests. It looks like he will only get 1 before he maxes out, although he did just lose some stalkers, so he could get more. Units tab, it is 10 carriers versus 8 carriers and 3 Archons. Also the 8 Void Rays will help a lot. Thank you for the follow, Plasma Stone. Oh, and a nice tag from Mr. 789. Gets the entire army. Will make that mothership useless. But +3 air weapons have finished, which for carrier versus carrier fights will do a ton. A few zealots. At this point though, both of them probably could lose some workers and be fine with it. Okay, so 1 Tempest out, won't make the difference. These Void Rays overcharge a little bit hastily. Oh my god, a great Disruptor hit, taking out all the opposing Disruptors and damaging the Archons. With this upgrade advantage and carrier advantage, 12 now to only 10. He is able to push him back, getting more Archons is Mr. 789. And the focus fire is very important here, and he focus fires beautifully. GG, well played. Yenfu will take that game. Alright, so we'll be getting into our next game, which is Abyssal Reef. Alright, spawning into Abyssal Reef, in the bottom right corner, it is Mr. Yenfu taking the last game with a Sky Toss victory, and in the purple from Psionic Aftermath, it is Mr. 789 or Swagger. We'll see if Mr. 789 tries to change up his build order, as he did invest in quite a few Stalkers versus the almost purely Sky Toss army out of Yenfu. The Disruptors, they were big, but in the end it all came down to the sky. Alright, so both of these players, yet again, absolutely mirrored compositions. This is sort of the meta in PvP, other than a cheese, which I think Mr. 789 may be trying. It looks like this probe might be getting ready for a proxy pylon. The good thing about this build is that you can transition into a 4-gate or a 3-gate robo very easily, or you can just expand off of it and be safe. Alright, Yenfu is going to scout this. He sees that it's exactly mirrored so far, no differences. Double Stalker against Double Stalker. So Yenfu, last game he went Double Adept, didn't really get a whole lot done with it. This time he's going Double Stalker. Maybe that means he will not go for the fast Stargate, but it's very good he went Double Stalker because he's going to need to be defensive against whatever is going to come down after this pylon. And it is a robotics facility. It's very likely he will also put down one more gateway. Oh, but will he scout it? He does. This is huge. Yeah, that's certainly very big, but he can't just cancel them, lose a pylon and then expand. Sort of the beauty of this build is that he is not very far behind from attempting that. So he will have a slightly later expansion, and he will be supply blocked from... Is he gonna go for it again? No, I think he's just gonna scout. That would be pretty insane if he just put down the proxy once again. Stargate out of Yenfu slightly later because he got his mothership core, 3 stalkers, even a sentry, just to be safe against that almost cheese, but not quite. And funnily enough, this game has sort of gone back to where it would normally be. Expansion is slightly later, but it's pretty much identical in every other way, except for the Stargate. If he does go Oracle, this is very unlikely to do any damage. At this point, he has plenty of stalkers. He has his mothership core patrolling the main with overcharge, but I think just like last game, he's gonna use it to scout, force out units, get some nice tags, and he is also going for immortals, so that same immortal void ray style could be what we're gonna see. And a fast blink and warp prism, as well as the +1. This pretty much turns out to be the exact same thing we saw last game. But I have a feeling that Mr. 789 may try to be more aggressive now that he knows the Sky Toss is coming. Although, with the 2-stalker opening, it's possible he doesn't yet realize that it's going to be Sky Toss. But he should see it with this hallucinated Phoenix. He's gonna see the Void Ray come out, the robotics. Yeah, and he gets a perfectly full scout. Although, that Oracle, if he was looking at it, which he probably at least glanced at the minimap, saw this warp prism, and he should be getting into position with his units to defend the drop. It's pretty light pressure, only a oh, this is a nice move, denying the 3rd. And these 2 adepts will be shading in. They'll get 2 workers and not die. So that's very good. The stasis will actually delay it quite a bit. And I believe that this probe now blocks the Nexus. But he's just gonna take it late. There we go. And third coming down, the Yenfu. With that delay, they are pretty much the exact same time. +1, finishing up for Mr. 789. Blink is already done, and he is making Immortals. Yet again, the disruptors coming out from Yenfu. We'll have to see if Swagger goes for the same choice of tech. So far, just +2 starting. I don't know what this probe is here for. It might be the disruptors. So, last game, he got very good disruptor hits. Killed all of the opposing disruptors with his own, but failed to deal with the void rays in the sky. Maybe he will go for more stalkers to address that, or maybe he will go for faster Archons, as he has scouted the void rays. The Forge from Yenfu, unlike last game, where he pretty much did not get a Forge at all. +1 started. I expect the Fleet Beacon will be down pretty soon. Charge was started and then cancelled by Mr. 789. I do like Charge Lot Archon against this composition. I think it would be good. He is getting the Archons faster. Archons are a pretty reliable way to deal with Void Rays. And he's getting a lot of gateways for... He could hit a nice timing before carriers get out. But as always with disruptors, it will come down to the fight. Is now how many disruptors for each side? 1 for each. And 1 more on the way for Mr. 79. 8 gateways. This is the gateway explosion of all time. That will bring him up 9. Okay. That's a lot. That'll bring him up to, I think, 11? Yeah. That'll be 11. And is his Warp Prism still alive? It is. So he can make just a huge warp in on the other side of the map of Charge Lot Archon. And this could, I mean, Yenfu, he has a large army supply, but a lot of that supply is tied up in these carriers, which take ages to make, even with Chrono Boost. And also these very slow technical units like Immortals, which do not deal bonus damage to Charge Lots or Archons. The same goes for the Void Rays. +3 on the way for Mr. 789. Picks off the Oracle before it can get a tag off on the army. Yeah, and it will just be an attack on the other side of the map. Based on the unit compositions, it's looking good, but there are disruptors. And as we know, those are explosive. Another Stargate on the way. He's yet again committing to this Sky Toss style. Oh, nice. Takes out this disruptor before it can fire. The first carrier is entering the fray, but that will not do much. Taking out that stasis trap. I don't know if he knew that would happen. These adepts walking to their death. And I think this is just posturing for Mr. 789. He's still warping in though. Oh, a massive disruptor hit. Oh my god, right into the core of Stalkers. I think with all the units stacked up like this, he was unable to target fire the one which was firing, but another Great Disruptor hit, and another one coming out from Mr. 789. He's going for more Stalkers. He wants to destroy this Sky Army before it can get off the ground. He's leaving his Disruptors back. He's going for the Blink. Oh, he tried to focus fire, but the Interceptors got in the way. Oh, whoa, massive hit. And that, oh, but a good hit, taking out a Disruptor, weakening up those Immortals. And this is it, right? Like, pretty much all in. These Archons doing a good amount of damage. The Archons will be able to clean up the Void Rays. 8 more Stalkers coming in. He's looking to take down any more carriers which come out. 3 more on the way. These cannons will not do much against 3 Immortals. And a semi-hidden expansion from Yenfu. He could scout that, but I don't think he oh, he needs to pick off that Disruptor before it can fire. That is a nice bit of target firing. Let's look at the Interceptor count. It is there are currently 30 Interceptors, but 21 Stalkers against 4 carriers. Oh, and fighting inside this overcharge, he will lose a couple of Stalkers there. He's not taking out these crucial carriers, and they're just having a chance to regenerate their Interceptor count and the shields. 3 more carriers on the way, as well as +3. Oh, that's a bold move, choosing to start his Mothership Core right now. Means he will not have access to any more overcharges until it finishes. And I mean, there are no brakes on this train for Mr. 789, and this could be it. He cancels the mothership in order to get out that overcharge. That probe trying to take that Nexus, very optimistic. It is important to note that it is, if we look at the upgrades, +3 versus +2. But 4 carriers on the way now, as these Interceptors begin to stack up. The damage, they scale so well against Stalkers. And takes down a carrier. That was a good pickoff. But still, 3 more on the way. And it's currently 5 carriers to like 20 Stalkers. And Yenfu trying to expand, even though Mr. All In, at least for a while, Mr. 789 was pretty all in. He is now expanding, but it doesn't look good. He does not have any tech to fight these carriers. He is still only on Stalker Archon. Mostly Stalkers. All the Archons have died. And picks off another Stalker for free. Air weapons +3 is now done. Which means each individual Interceptor will do 3 more damage than it originally did, which is massive, because there are 65 Interceptors about. Oh, this Immortal stuck. Unfortunate. If there's a run by, it'll defend valiantly. But it should be noted the worker count is far ahead for Swagger. Unfortunately, most of them are stacked up on these 2 almost gone mineral patches. So he really needs that 5th base to fully utilize his worker count. As Yenfu now getting up to 5 bases now, where Swagger is just taking his 5th. Charge and +1 shields is on the way. Shields, of course, very good for the Archons. Because they pretty much have no health, so armor upgrades do nothing for them. +1 air armor on the way. That'll help a little bit. Oh man, this music is pretty epic, but I suspect it's pretty much just gonna be Yenfu sort of stomping this Stalker army. There are a lot of Archons, which can take care of the Interceptors, but still, this is gonna be a huge engagement. A lot of the Interceptors just targeting down the base, but the +3 attack upgrade, it just destroys them. And Yenfu taking the win with his distinctive Sky Toss style, which he has used in every match we've seen today. So now, I believe it is the finals. Yep, it is the finals now, which, I think will be a best of 3. It may be a best of 5 though, I'm not sure. Alright, so it will be a best of 3. I've had a ton of fun today casting these fantastic games. This is the weekly Masters tournament with a $5 prize pool. So far we've had some sick games, mostly just with Yenfu killing his opponents with carriers. But still, it's been very fun to watch. We've had a great TVT series between Mr. L and Zox, who is now with us in the finals. So we are doing vetoes right now, and then we will get into our first map. So our final is going to be a PVT. So a bit of a delay sorting out the servers, as we will have someone from the West Coast playing someone from the EU. Not ideal in terms of ping. Alright, so the first map is going to be Ascension to Ire. Alright, so I hope you guys are excited for the finals. PVT, a very fun matchup. It really depends on how the Protoss wants to play it. Unless Terran goes mech, sort of have a choice of being aggressive or trying to sit back, getting to that Colossus, Storm, knowing Yenfu probably carriers. But here we are in game. In the top left corner, the red Protoss player, it is Yenfu. And in the bottom right, it is the blue Terran Zox. Now we've seen both of these players play now. Yenfu, he's gone for AO both times. Skytoss is, however, far less popular, and for good reason, against Terran. So we'll see what style he chooses to go for. He could go for a Phoenix Adept style, as I've seen nothing but Stargate today. Or he could go for the the typical sort of household Colossus build, very stable. So both these players scouting at a reasonable time. It will be a gas first out of Zox. Probably just gonna go for a 1-on-1, and just a gate expand out of Yenfu, so not really giving any information about what he's going to do. Alright, Reaper coming out. The Adept should be in time to shut that down. Going for the fast mothership core is Yanfu, and one gate expand into 111 from Zox. And yeah, the Adept will finish just slightly after the Reaper gets in. The mothership core should be able to shoo it away though. Yep, as is typical in TVP, the Reaper comes out, gets a scout, and then either dies or leaves. The Reaper might stick around to see the third base timing. It is Robo first out of Yanfu, so I would expect Colossus, maybe Disruptor drop, or just normal Disruptors, but I think Colossus is more common, at least. And he will get that Reaper. Shuts down scouting. Now the Robo Bay is down. The gas in the natural should be taken pretty soon to afford the extremely expensive either Colossus or Disruptors. They are both pretty costly. See what our Terran is doing. Yep, 111. Looks like he wants to go into tanks, or maybe switch that over and get a Banshee. But he's going out with a 2 Widowmine drop. Yanfu has an Observer right here, and he has only 1 overcharge. I don't think he'll get a second one by the time the mine drop hits. And he is going into Disruptor drop, a very fun style. Not super common, but boy do I love it. It's Disruptors so far in this tournament have been a lot of fun. Alright, he has 2 overcharges now. He's going to need to use them. He's a little bit late on it. Did not see the drop. Oh, and he clumps them up so much. Oh man. 13 workers going down. That is huge. And a Liberator coming in. 2 Stalkers. Pretty much in position to defend this, but neither of the Widowmines even died, so he could do it again, and he is. Whereas the Observer is not. There are 7 more going down. The Liberator will fall. The Disruptor drop is going to need to do at least some damage to even it up. He is now behind in workers, and keep in mind that mules are pretty good. And that is 4. And he will also scout the third. The third coming down much faster than the third for Yanfu. A nice little hidden Widowmine there. He might try to reposition it into the main base to get some more probes. Another Disruptor shot. 2 going down. Takes a lot of damage on the Warp Prism. Nice pull from Zox. Nice fast reaction. Oh, this could be bad. If he gets stimmed under and loses this, that's a huge investment down the drain. Oh, whew, that was close. Zox not quite looking at that moment. Didn't target fire quite quick enough. But look at how fast that Warp Prism is. It's just comical. Oh, but he might lose it. Oh, yeah, that's big. He's back being ahead in workers, but there are already Vikings out for the Colossus, of which he has 2, and is getting extended Thermal Lance. Oh no, it's done. Any upgrades? No. So he's going for the no upgrade style of Colossus. It's also possible he just forgot them, because it is quite important. Oh, and he's getting them now. 1-1 has already started for his opponent. He is getting a Twilight Council. That could be for Blink or Glaives, maybe Charge. But the Blink, I mean, there are only 2 Vikings, so I think the Adepts to deal with these ton of Marines might be a better option. So that Marine will get to scout the Colossus. He already sort of just blindly made Vikings. But with this many Marines and only 1 Marauder, and he's landing the Vikings. That I don't know why he's doing that. Oh, just to kill that pylon. Alright, so he's target firing the Vikings onto the Colossus already. He's now going to stem micro back while these Vikings deal damage to the Colossus. He's now going to drop on top. This is a very good way of splitting your bio, essentially. 2 Colossus have gone down so far. The Viking is targeting the 3rd. The Stalkers do start to focus fire the Vikings. Both of them go down. He will lose, looks like 2 medevacs. He did attack just before 1-1 completed, an unfortunate mistiming, but a drop in the main takes out 8. This Widow Mine, he was a genius. He put it here, the probes which he pulled away from the mineral line, it hit them, got some extra damage. 9 probes will go down. He will unpower all this production. The upgrades will be slower. All of his gateways aren't working. It is dead even on workers, which you never want to be as a Protoss against a Terran. The 4th base coming down now for Yenfu. Does he have any? He's going Disruptors now. That's a smart move against the Vikings. Once you lose all your Colossus, it almost isn't worth it to rebuild them, because you know that they will have Colossus in time. He's now going for the double upgrades. Has not yet repowered his Glaives and +1. The Glaives with +1 will allow the Adepts to 2-shot each Marine. And there are quite a few Marines going with it. Just look at the unit count. It is 20 Marines, 8 Marauders against 10 Adepts, 8 Stalkers, 1 Colossus, and 2 Disruptors. It's really going to come down to, like, the chance of the Disruptor. Not even the chance, just, like, the execution and the micro. I don't think Zox knows about the Disruptors, at least not yet. So he probably won't be pre-split, and that may allow Yenfu to get some nice hits. Blink is now on the way, and +2, +1 is started, although 2-2 will finish before that. Is Zox gonna attack once again just before his upgrades finish? That would be unfortunate. No, it looks like he will wait for them. They are quite close to finishing. Or maybe not. He sees the Disruptors though. That should allow he should now be staring at this army, taken out. Their own Adept, a little bit of a mistake, and 2-2 is now finished. The Vikings quite damaged from the the Colossus damaged from the Vikings. And 60 more probes going down, probably to a Widow Mine. A little bit of harass over here, killed 11 SCVs. Chem wasn't quite on it, but there were 2 Adepts that ran in. This Marauder being healed up, an unfair fight. The Adept will go down. Another Adept will move out to take the Watchtower, but will die. Alright, 3-3 on the way. The upgrades are far superior for the Terran. But 2-2 will finish pretty soon. Blink is done. I expect Storm to come out fairly soon. He doesn't have a lot of gas, though. He probably needs to start mining, gas on his 4th. In order to get to those even higher tier of units. But Liberator's already on the way. Range is not done, has not started yet, but I imagine it will. Disruptor shot, not getting anything. Colossus getting quite boosted again by the Vikings. Disruptor shot misses again. And this is a nice concave of bio, but I don't... it's gonna be close. No, it will not be enough. He will pick up into the medevacs and boost away. Viking Colossus, I mean, staying alive for quite a while, and he has resumed Colossus production. He will have to find an answer to the Liberators, though. He has Blink Stalkers, but if he gets enough of them, the Blink Stalkers just will not be enough. He's unsieged. Sieges up. Disruptor shot misses. He will take out the Colossus. Also, focus fires down that one disruptor. More great run-bys. Killing so many SCVs. Down to less than 50. 45. Just look at the units lost tab. 33 SCVs, 232 probes. So actually, it's a lot more even than I thought. These adepts will get cleaned up, but that was definitely worth it. The 5th base coming down now. It is completed. 3-3 is about to finish. Storm is on the way, and +3 attack. Almo has not yet started. The Terran, it's got a lot of gas in the bank. I expect he will try to tech up a bit more. He's sticking on bio for now, but usually the answer to, or at least most people, are trying to answer Colossus with just a ton of ranged Liberators. But these Vikings already nearly killing a Colossus. The 5th base will have to be forfeit, and all of the probes will die. So evening up the worker count quite nicely, although the income is still pretty significantly in Zox's favor. Psystorm is completed. Are there any High Templar? There are 5 of them. How many storms does he have? I cannot tell with this WCS overlay, but at least 5. Maybe 6. Oh, and the 4th base goes down. He's now down to a 3-base economy. The Liberators are sieging up. The Colossus coming in from the Vikings coming in from the side, killing the Colossus. The Liberator's getting a ton of damage done. The storms are good, but just not enough. And it looks like that will be GG. Well played, Zox. Yanfu, just not quite able to hold on against the constant wave of bio. And we should be getting into the next map very soon. It is Odyssey. Right, and we are starting up our game. game number 2 on Odyssey. Spawning in the bottom right corner, it is a red Protoss player, Yenfu. And in the top left, a blue Terran player, Zox. Alright, so, gas first out of Zox. Pretty much the exact same builds as last game. We're gonna see if, Yenfu goes for the same disruptor drop style. It got shut down pretty hard last game. It got like 6 SCVs, but he also lost the prism with the disruptor in it, which it's a pretty heavy investment to get warp prism speed and a disruptor out that fast. He could, of course, the eBay block. Now, what Yenfu could do is just go straight up and take the gold base, but I don't think that's what he's gonna do. Yeah, I think he's just gonna get his cyber core, get his second gas, continue with his build, kill this engineering bay, which has a lot of health, and then take his natural. But I mean, the natural for Zox is pretty far ahead now. I would have liked to see him do more of what Zerg's do and just take it somewhere else. Although it does leave you a bit more exposed, I think it's probably worth it. Like, the time this was delayed is pretty significant. And this music is really picking up. He's sending the adept across the map. He could delay the command center. Zox is getting a bunker. I'm not sure what he's afraid of, but maybe just a little bit of early aggression because the expansion was delayed for Yenfu. It looks like he will not be able to delay the command center. He will deny this bunker from getting up, though. Alright, Starport on the way, as well as a Widowmine going for most likely the exact same Widowmine drop style as last time. Unfortunately, he will lose this adept. I think at least. Yes, he will lose that adept. His natural just now finishing. But funnily enough, he does have a nice worker lead. Of course, Zox did have to cut into his build a little bit to put down that engineering bay. It does cost, I believe, 150 minerals? I'm not sure about that, though. And the exact same thing, it looks like a disruptor drop coming out of Yenfu. This Reaper will just dance around this zealot. Alright, 2 Widowmine drop coming in. Will he... The Widowmine drop last time was massive. Yeah, the Observer is in a more neutral position this time. So whichever way the Widowmine drop comes in, he will be able to direct it faster. Oh no, but he's moving it into the natural when it's coming into the main. He will need to be very quick on these overcharges in order not to lose it. He does have 3 this time, whereas last time he only had 2. If he does it quick enough, he should be able to maybe kill the Widowmine? One of them. Only 2 probes. That is much better than the 13 of last time. And he will get some nice hits on that medevac, I mean, and takes it down, being a little bit greedy, trying to get in there and get his Widow Mine back. The Liberator, just like last game, is coming into the natural now. The Stalkers are moving into position. It's not sieging up. You should see this. And that's a little bit awkward. Probably could have gotten a few probe kills, but actually neither player. Sort of just a peace agreement as a disruptor drop comes into the natural. Definitely bigger issues on their minds. This speedy warp prism. And the observer is gonna scout. Only 3 workers went down with that prism. Some very good micro from Zox not to lose more. It is definitely tough just defending against a disruptor drop. These Marines in position to shut this down, but this is so fast. I think it's faster than a boosted medevac. That is now up to 6 kills. This Liberator still just chilling here. I keep expecting it to do something. This Observer is going to scout the Marines and the Viking, and the Liberator will just go home. Colossus already out. Range is nearly done. Stim is on the way and nearly complete. And +1. Oh, this is a 3-1-1. I expect it to be a 1-1-1. It's actually... So this, a 3-1-1, is a pretty strong bio push with +1 and Stim. It's going to come across the map pretty soon. Oh, these Vikings cornering this disruptor drop, and he loses it again with the disruptor in it. But 6 kills, and forcing him to really look at his mineral line. Maybe it was worth it. Alright, Stim and +1 finishing up almost exactly at the same time. And this should prompt a move out to pressure the third of the Yenfu. But with 2 Colossus already out, strangely enough, that Colossus, I mean, he really took that watchtower. No one's gonna contest that. So now he's getting disruptors. So 2 Colossus back into disruptors. I like it. I think it makes the Vikings a little bit obsolete. It makes the Terran really have to focus on the micro of not losing their entire army to a disruptor. Alright, this moves out. It was spotted as there was a unit at the watchtower. And this Colossus now getting back into position as Yenfu should take this seriously. It is a lot of Stim bio with +1. Also, these Vikings and Liberators will do a good job at fighting these Colossus. The concern, though, is going... How many Liberators? Disruptors does he have? Only 1. Okay, he sees the angle which is coming in from. Oh, nope. Nothing from that Disruptor. Good micro on the Vikings. Just getting a few hits, moving him back. The Colossus doing a ton of damage to that bio. And this attack gets destroyed. He gets absolutely... he takes out the Colossus, which are expensive units. But he loses all his bio. His third base, it's pretty late. It will be done soon, but that's a very late third base. And he certainly delayed it to try to get that aggression out, but did not pay off. Blink and +2 are now on the way. This game looking better for Yenfu than last game. Right, another small bioforce that's already been formed, but look at the army supply of Yenfu, very high up. He probably could make an attack right now if he wanted to. I mean, the units tab, 14 Marines, 5 Martyrs against 17 Adepts, 16 Stalkers, a Colossus and a Disruptor. I don't think Yenfu knows how far ahead he was. I mean, that 3-1-1, it's not an all-in, but it's pretty close to it. Because he delays his third so much, he sort of throws his entire army at the Protoss. Double Colossus production. Definitely not what I expected. With the heavy, how many Vikings does he have? 4? Actually, not that many Vikings. So I think this double Colossus play will probably turn out to be worth it. That Marine. And he's now trying to take a 4th base. A 8 Marine drop heading out. Probably going to check if he has the gold. And he's going to take back this watchtower. But I think Yenfu is going to see how few units Zox actually has. I mean, I really think Yenfu is being a little too cautious right now, giving Zox a little bit too much space. 2-2 is about to be completed, whereas +2 weapons is done for the Protoss, and he is now starting +1 armor. The 6 Marine drop sort of dropping on a pylon, and it will be killed by a Colossus. But there is a big engagement happening right now. All the Colossus getting targeted down by the Vikings. But will the Adepts and Stalkers just be too much on the ground? The more simple, brute force, meaty units. And I think yes. Yeah, the Stalkers are going to target down the Liberators. That's a very unnecessary disruptor shot, but why not? So this 4th base is actually surviving and is turning into a planetary. It would be nice if he could take that down before it gets to a planetary, but he wants to get on top of this production, and he will do so, and Zox is going to have a hard time getting back in this game. Most of his army supply is in medevacs. That Disruptor a little bit exposed, but I don't think that's going to make the difference. And he's pulling workers, but against glaive Adepts. They do have glaives, right? Yes. That will not be enough. And it looks like Yenfu is going to tie up this series 1-1. He's going up to 5 bases. There's no harassment out on the map. All the workers at the 3rd base are dying. 4th base is a planetary. So he will be able to keep that up for a while. Stalkers killing this Liberator. I think +3 will probably be denied. And GG. Ooh, it's gonna go the distance. Oh boy, that was solid. Abyssal Reef, okay. So, Abyssal Reef will be the next map. And I am all out of water. I have been talking for pretty much 3 hours straight. Man. Alright, game number 3, the decider of this grand finals. And it has gone the distance. It is now alright, spawning in the top left corner as our red Protoss. It is Yenfu. And in the bottom right, as a blue Terran, it is Zox. I like this music. It's given me hype for this last game of the finals. Let's see if Yenfu is going to go for the Disruptor drop again. I feel like it worked a lot better in Game 2 than Game 1. The gas first out of Zox. Just like last time. I feel like his build choice of a 3-1-1 was definitely pretty questionable last game. Because he pushed out, and it was late enough that he had Yenfu, that is, had so many Colossus to just rip through the mostly Marine army. And, oh, 2 probes going down. Try to stop the eBay block. I like this. A little bit of adaptation from what happened in Game 2. Alright, oh, the gas steal. Oh man. Zox is relentless. He just will not let Yenfu do his normal build. Now a gas steal, it does cut into the economy, so his expansion will be a little bit delayed. But it will force a zealot first. And yeah, I mean, I understand pulling 3 probes, but really the Zealot needs to be hitting it, yeah. The Zealot obviously doing a lot more damage. And he will get his gas up, not too delayed. The biggest concern right now is actually that he doesn't have an Adept, and this Reaper is already in. So that could get a few probe kills. All there is this slow Zealot. Man, this music. Alright, the Mothership Core on the way, as well as that Adept to chase away that Reaper. And the Zealot, Zealot actually gets a hit. That's surprising. But, oh, he does get a probe, so probably worth it. It looks like another mine drop out of Zox. Both of these players don't want to change it up for a best of 3. They say that, you know, their builds, they're solid, it just comes down to execution, and I do believe that. They've both gone for the same build, all 3 matches, and, you know, I think they're good, it's what they're comfortable with, and certainly these games are decided more on execution than unit composition or build order, as is the case with most StarCraft games. So this Adept, it'll get a nice scout, shade out, live to tell the tale. That Widow Mine actually coming very close to connecting. Oh, the medevac coming out. It's going to pick up these 2 Widow Mines and probably drop it into the main. Let's see if the Observer will be in position. Last game only got 2, which is much better than the 13 of Game 1. Thank you for everyone who is watching and has followed and subbed. It's very important for the health of this tournament to have viewers and players. So if you're interested, I posted the link in the chat. You can sign up for next week's. This is a weekly $5 event. The winter mine drop coming in this time. The natural, the observer is not in position quite yet. 3, not bad at all. And this time he will get out losing the medevac. That is a much better trade. The disruptor is on the way for this disruptor drop. Yet again. Last time he got 6 with it and didn't lose it for a while. He did pretty well. Unfortunately, this does delay his third base by going for the very fast robotics facility. And also there is a marine blocking it. So we have 2 barracks with stem and a 3rd barracks on the way. Looks like he will go again for that sort of 3-1-1 style. I simply hope that he hits his pressure a little bit earlier, so that there aren't as many Colossus. Because once Zenfu gets up to like 3 Colossus with range and +1, extremely hard to deal with. 6 went down to this Widow Mine drop. It wasn't the natural. I did miss that. This Liberator now coming. It will deny mining on 4 mineral patches. Disruptor drop. Nope, that's not the disruptor drop. Where's the disruptor drop? Where did it go? Ah, it is in this corner, hiding. Probably from Vikings. So this Liberator is still denying mining. Without Blink, it's very hard to engage this. So I very much like this positioning. Moving forward a little bit, giving Zenfu some time, but only 1 Stalker is shooting. And he will still clean this up, but he will lose 2 Stalkers. Almost lost the 3rd, that was pretty close. Stimpack is now on the way at double upgrades for Zox, whereas yet again the Forge and the Twilight Council are just now starting. Extended Thermal Lance is done though, and he is sitting at 2 Colossus. So I think he's gonna go back into Disruptors now, but he could go for a 3rd Colossus. Combat Shield's finishing up. And this Observer, man, this is the money Observer. He is seeing everything. The Omri is on the way for the 2-2. He's going for a 2nd Starport. I think last game he maybe had too many medevacs. If he'd committed maybe a little bit harder to the Vikings, especially this game where he's going for 3 Colossus instead of going into the earlier Disruptors. The 3rd base is now much faster for Zox, not delaying it like last game. The Disruptor drop, is it still here? No, where is it? Where, did it die? I think it died. So that's actually pretty big. I think last game, a lot of what delayed his push was the Disruptor keeping it home. But now that it's dead, this could be bad news for Yenfu. Now, there are, let's look at the units tab. There are 5 Vikings, 11 Mortars, and 33 Marines versus 3 Colossus. With the 5 Vikings have good target fire. Like, this Colossus is already very bruised. Good stutter stepping here from the Marines, buying time for the Vikings to focus down the Colossus, and this arc with the superior upgrades. Resonating Glaives was not yet done. This could be the finishing move. This Disruptor will need to be the most money hit ever. It is very good. Is it good enough? The Vikings land to kill the probes. And that is it. GG. Ooh. And that was a short but decisive end. Zox will be your champion this week. GG, well played, guys. I'm very impressed with the games. Thank you everyone who has stayed this long. And thank you to all the followers and subs. Congratulations, of course, to Zox. I hope to see you all next week. If you feel up to it, you do not even have to be Masters. You just can't be GM, and you can sign up for this tournament. A chance to win $5. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Congratulations again to Zox. I see he's in the chat. And I will see you guys next week. It's been a pleasure casting this tournament for you.